I like your face with no beard.
Nope. No beer or no beard?
No beard.
How about some cat butt?
Welcome to this episode of That's Good I Think podcast. I'm here today with Carrot, who you remember from episode 1, and Caitlin from Capital City Scooters in Columbus, Ohio. Before we begin, I'll give both of you a little couple minutes to introduce yourself. Let's start with Caitlin. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you do?
Well, I am Caitlin Didier. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I own Capital City Scooters. We sell scooters and motorcycles. We have 4 lines, so just motorcycles from those lines. Obviously started just with scooters. Been here 10 years now, just hit that 10-year mark. And yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, I remember that party. I wanted to.
Yeah.
Where was that coming? Oh, I came down from Chicago and it was snowing. It was so bad because I was
It was
online to come down to Columbus, but it was snowing so bad I needed to take a break in between, and I was like, "Nah, okay, I'm just going home." It was a long day.
Yeah. The weather was horrible. Horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Carrot, who are you? Well, we know you, but just go ahead.
Hey, I'm Carrot. I ride scooter. I ride motorcycle. I'm part of that scooter thing.
She's that other scooter thing. Yeah, so every week we have this reoccurring section on our show where we ask people, hey, what have you been riding this week? And because the weather's been pretty good last week, so I think there might be something to this. So what have you been riding this week?
So sadly, I have not been writing anything. It's been a crazy busy week. It's, time change. We've gone back to regular hours off of winter hours. Just gearing up for spring, getting people in. So I have not been writing anything yet because I'm just, you own a scooter shop, you never get to ride. Yeah. So,
what do you usually ride?
Bummer for me. Well, my daily riders are a Stella or a Vespa GT60.
That's the one with the light on the fender, right?
Yeah, it's the 60th anniversary of the original. It's in that gunmetal gray. They only made, I think, 1,000 of them. They brought 500 to the U.S., so... yeah.
Cool. I like. What was the other one? The 60, the one with the number 60.
That's the Vespa, the GT60. It's this. Yeah. So it's basically the GTS 250, but it's the 60th anniversary edition. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Why am I?
We can have pictures
yeah.
later.
Why am I? I was just talking about. Yeah, we can use this new function. Vespa GT60. Oh yeah, I like this one.
It's so limited you can't even find a picture on Google.
There we go. Here's a shitty resolution picture of your bike.
Yeah.
Do you have racks? Do you have anything done to it? I remember your bike sounded a little louder. Do you have an exhaust on it?
Yeah, it's got a Prima exhaust on it, so it's loud and poppy and yeah.
But I know about this subject that Carrot is really excited about talking about what she wrote this week. What were you writing this week?
I only wrote one.
Well, yeah, that's the one you
I
want to talk
only wrote
about.
one day. I wrote my Spade to work the first time.
Yeah.
That was the purpose of buying this Spade. Is gonna be my commute bike. because I heard the gas price is going up.
Let's hope so. How much do you
So
love your
funny
Spade?
story. It's actually a story that I don't know if I really want to share it, but why not? So, you know how this story is just gonna show how newbie I am towards motorcycles. So I was like, yeah, like ride this bike, and in the morning it was still a little bit dark because I left around 7 a.m. Because the time just saving just went back an hour, so it was still dark. Um, and at the red light, there's a light went on the dashboard. I'm like, uh-oh, that's not good. But I'm like, it's still wrong, so I'm just gonna keep riding. And so it went on and off, on and off. It's weird. So when I got to work, I texted Lee, I said, oh, the oil lights went on. and and then I can see like on the other end of the phone, he just went on research on, oh, is that a common issue with Kymco Spade and oil lights went on at the, like do oil change, all that stuff. So we're like, yeah, it's probably just like lack of that little bit of oil to, to make the sense off on the oil lights. And he said, yeah, we're gonna do oil change tonight so you can learn as well. So I came home. On the way home, the lights was on the whole time. So I was like, oh, it's not on and off anymore. It's a real issue now. It's really like lacking oil. So I got home and then Lee looked at the dashboard and said, oh, you need gas. It was the gas line. It was like that I need gas. Thank God I didn't run out of gas on the way to work or on the way back.
Yeah.
Well, there's your 20-mile commute one way, the 40-mile commute on reserve without any issues.
Yeah.
And you still had gas
Way to-
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way to miles per gallon that one.
Oh yeah, true story.
Yeah, that's
It's
awesome.
because on Caird Stella nothing works in the dashboard, so there's no oil light or no gas light or no nothing.
Right.
So she's not used to your bike telling you what to do.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I need to like have a tutorial on what those little things mean, like every single of them. There are some like things that I still don't know what that means,
Yeah.
but we talk about later.
I texted Seth. I'm like, is it normal that Spade's already turned that oil light on at the 100-mile mark? That's not like what's going on. Does the oil light need a read?
Right.
And he texts me back. This was at 7:30 in the morning, and I text him like, I'm the worst kind of customer, the one that has your private phone number.
Right. I mean, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's a learning
Yeah,
experience.
that's how I
But
learn.
then I send Carrot, like she comes home and she's like, I told her you need gas and we have a gas station just around the block, so I tell her go get gas, and she's like, what if I die on the way there? Like, what if my bike dies on the way there? I'm like, well, whatever, just push it.
Shit.
Right?
It's really close by,
Yeah.
and of course I spilled the gas. I mean, you have to.
Yeah, that's what I told her. The first time you get gas
Yeah.
in your new bike, you have to spill a little bit. It just
And I was
spilled
trying
it.
to be, yeah. Go
I
ahead.
spilled it prepping a bike today. A white Spade, actually. I must have been channeling you today.
Like I was trying to be cool, didn't even take off my leather gloves, and I was just sitting on my bike and like a pro trying to put 1.5 gallon gas in my tank. First, I found out I was like, this thing doesn't twist. Oh, I locked it. Just learn new things every day about bike.
Yeah. I love it.
yeah. Let's talk. This is a topic that Karen wanted to bring up, so let's talk about the Spade. Because I like that bike. I wish I was half my leg
Sure,
size, and I could actually enjoy riding one. Well, I think I could probably force enjoy riding one. As it is right now, Carrots with the standard handlebars, I can totally ride it. I rode Seth.
Yeah.
Seth from Metro. He has drop bars on his, and it is a
Uh-huh.
little bit. Yeah, I hit my knees.
Pushing the limits.
I hit my
Yeah.
knees a lot.
Yeah.
We did a 20 mile. No, we did like an 80 mile ride one day with Kymco and the Genuine 400, and we
Uh-huh.
swapped. I did 20 miles on his Spade, and I started getting cramps everywhere. I could not just sit properly. But it's so much fun to ride. That thing with the 12-inch wheels, it goes exactly where you want it to go, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Have you ridden it much, Caitlin?
Oh yeah, we when it first came out, the first thing we did was test ride it against the Sim Wolf 150. So we rode, I don't know how many miles it was. We rode out to Easton, and it was probably 10, 15 miles, and then swapped and rode home. And it's super fun. I think the great thing about the Spade is, I know you're a tall dude, Lee, and maybe the drop down bars are not
No, that was
good,
not
but
my
I think
decision. So
right. I think it, like Chris, Chris is a tall dude as well, and he fits pretty well on it as well. So I think like it's great because if you're real petite, you can totally touch and it's fine. I love the weight of it. It's so nimble. It's just like
Hmm.
you just like
Very
I don't
agile. Yeah.
yeah. It's a really fun bike. The small wheelbase is fun. It's a different ride from the Wolf 150, uh, but I don't know. I love it. It's just I think it's a lot of fun, and I like it more than the Grom because I feel like the Grom you're like right over the front wheel, whereas this you've got a little bit more posture to
yeah,
it.
Carrot and I saw. Where were we driving? We saw a couple Groms. You were riding, were you?
Uh,
Yeah. We were riding when you
Made
picked your
yeah
bike up.
to the
We saw like
Volkswagen.
oh no 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 no
Oh
no.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
another time, but we saw like
Oh, to the main road.
we saw
Yeah,
four
yeah.
guys on Groms, and it looked different, right? The Kymco Spade looks like a motorcycle, while the Grom looks like a mini
Yeah.
bike. That's the thing. I think if you
Right.
would put 15-inch wheels, if you could fit 15-inch wheels on a Spade, it would look like a decent motorcycle, like a big normal motorcycle compared
Right.
to a Grom. I like the Spade more. A, it has more power, and then I can only ride the Spade.
33% more power. Yeah. 33% more power. It's fuel injected. Yeah.
Yeah, you can climb on it. You
It's
don't have to kick it. That's what Carrot wanted. She's so sick and tired of kicking a scooter.
exactly.
No. Put the scooter in the main stand and then kick it on the side of the road while there's a heavy traffic going through,
Yeah.
flying through next to me. Okay.
That's no fun.
We'll get back to that because something happened last year in Columbus. We'll get back to that
Uh-oh.
topic later. But why don't you tell us about your experience riding the Spade to work here? Like, did you feel like you could flow with traffic and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so I don't have to go on highways to go to work. It's all back roads, but there are a couple sections that has like, a couple lanes, those big roads. Um, I I mean, there are traffic, so not like everyone's going to like the full speed limit. Like some of the back roads speed limit is 55. I feel pretty comfortable in the morning actually when there was no wind. But on the way back, the wind was pretty heavy. I felt like I get pushed a little bit, but I don't think that has anything to do with the bike. It's just the weight. Uh, yeah, but I mean, like I like when I'm on the bike, I'm very cautious. Like, oh, if there any cars behind me, like if I'm riding too slow, just because I'm new to like riding motorcycle, even with scooter too. And so I like constantly checking things, and I like how stable the things is. Like on scooters, like things just vibrates, and then on this motorcycle, I feel
On
like
your
I'm in
scooter
control. Oh,
vibrates.
yeah, because it's so powerful.
Right. And two-stroke.
Yeah, but like when I'm riding Spade, I feel like I'm the one who's in control because like beside the gas lights that I'm not very fully aware of.
You'll learn.
But no, I do. um, but yeah, like I feel like this is the first bike I actually learned how to do foot shifting on this bike.
Yeah, it's a good one to learn on.
Yeah, I like I don't think it's a hard one. It's the learning curve is pretty smooth for me. Like I don't feel well, to be honest, when Lee said, "Oh yeah, you're gonna ride it home," when we pick up the bike, I feel like a little bit. I'm like, it's in the middle of the day. I don't know, and then it's also cold. It's just like a lot of factors like kind of make me not sure about this. But like it's my bike. I have to ride it home myself.
Yeah.
So, but like halfway through it, I'm like, "Whoo, I like this. I really liked it," and Lee can like say like how many times you ask me to ride scooter to work and I'm just like back out the last minute. I just don't feel confident enough to ride a vintage scooter to work by myself while there like I know there's gonna be traffic and stuff. Um, but with this one, um, I mean, at least I don't need to worry about like, um, stall in the middle of the road. All I need
Right.
to do just, put on neutral and push the button. Yeah,
Yeah.
easy. And it just takes a lot of the stress off me in terms of riding. And then I think like I still get a shovel like when I ride like oh my god I just rode to somewhere by myself like I still get that like exciting but like uncertainty
Yeah.
but I think I'm leaning towards to like oh I'm actually enjoying this process now like
That's,
enjoying the experience.
yeah, that's great.
So more good weather so I can
Yeah.
ride more.
Yeah,
Some
let's have
someone at
that.
Carrot's gym made a comment that it's too quiet.
Yeah, that kind of hurt me a little bit. I'm like, oh, I never get those kind of comments when I ride my Stella.
That, yeah, that's true.
So we're looking into the man in the box. Man in the box is this guy. Have you seen their exhaust? It sounds so good.
Yeah,
That's what I was writing.
yeah, yeah.
Because Steph's with the drop down bars has the man in the box exhaust, and it's
Yeah,
addictive. You just want to redline it every gear.
yeah, I bet. Yeah,
It feels like I'm riding my 530 KTM. It's like you feel like a big boy, supermoto when you ride it.
Uh,
Except it's a tiny
nice.
bike that hits my knees. But
my boss, I told him, oh, I rode like, oh, I didn't tell him. He saw my helmet. He said, so you ride your scooter today? I said, no, it's a motorcycle. I just got it. So he had a meeting in the other building, so he had to walk through the garage that's in between the building, and then he came back. He's like as tall, like maybe a little bit shorter than Lee, but like he's definitely like bigger person. And he's like, so you mean your bike is like this tiny, this low? Like, is that the one you're riding? I'm like, yeah, but like I love it. Like I feel like I'm in control. I can put my foot down on the ground,
Right.
you know.
Not too
I
heavy.
think I'm at an average height. I think that's important when like a new person ride. Like you want to feel you're safe. You have the control.
Right, right.
Yeah.
have you heard any feedback from customers? Like anything cool about the Spade?
Um, I actually really haven't heard much from my customers
But
who
that's good because they enjoy it.
They're all enjoying it.
fine. Yeah, because I feel like they're just out riding, right? They
Yeah.
don't have time to like call and tell me anything. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's been I mean, it's a real good bike. It was good for us last year, and um, have interestingly sort of a wide variety of people buy it, like from like
Oh,
small petite women to bigger guys, and all so equally excited about it.
interesting.
Yeah,
You can park
yeah.
on the sidewalk in Columbus with the Spade, right?
No, you can park on the sidewalk in all of Ohio with
Okay.
the Spade.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if
Wow.
that was only a Cincinnati thing or a.
No, it's 150 cc's and under in all of Ohio that can park on the sidewalk, which is awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
remember we
yeah.
went
yeah.
to at last Scooter Q up in Columbus. We went to Katz's Deli. Sorry. And
Hmm.
we parked right in front of it. And we went. What was the other? Up the street, there's a coffee shop.
The cafe, the bookstore
Next to the
next to the
bookstore, there's a
famous
coffee shop.
bookstore.
Yeah, is it
The lots
Impero?
of room. I I don't
The
remember the
bookstore's
name.
the Book
Yeah, the book
Loft.
loft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And the coffee shop, oh, I can't remember. It's either maybe it's Stoff's.
I
That's
Maybe we can find it because we
whatever.
know the bookstore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's always
Yeah.
been fun.
That-
Like it was the 2018 and then 2017 we did the same thing. It's just three bikes on a sidewalk because you have this really
Yeah.
cool red brick pavement down there. And
Yeah.
then Matt was riding his Allstate, which completely matched the color of the pavement, and
Uh-huh.
everything just worked together. And I don't if Carrot, if you remember this year, there was this photo shoot with this
Yeah.
artsy photo shoot.
With
We were like
ballet, like
looking at it, like, can
yeah.
we climb on it? And then they looked at us, and then they left. But yeah, that's one of my favorite sections of Columbus. I want to say the old German town.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a neat area.
Which brings me to the next. Oh, I'm hitting the microphone. Sorry. Which brings me to the next phone topic. Which brings me to the next topic, which is riding at a rally, especially Scooter Q. And Carrot, Mark, and we talked about this on our first podcast where we talked about riding in Richmond, which was a lot of fun.
Uh-huh.
And I think I want to compare Richmond to Columbus a little bit in that terms of rally because you have time both to do a group ride, but you can also do your own thing. So for those who don't know, Scooter Q is a maybe Caitlin, you explain it because I always make assumptions that are not correct. What is Scooter Q?
So Scooter Q is our annual rally. It's put on by the Columbus Cutters, who is a local scooter club. We're in the 20. Oh no, I might get in trouble here. 22nd year, 21st or 22nd year.
It's 21st. Last year was 20th.
21 was last year, right?
This year's 21st.
Oh, wow. This is the 21st.
20 something.
I'm googling. I'm googling.
Yeah, it started out as a barbecue. That's where the Scooter Q comes from, and then it grew from there. We get so it's a whole weekend event.
22nd.
22?
So
Yeah, okay.
The upcoming one's 22nd.
Wait, this year is 22.
This year's 22. Yeah, thank you. And so Friday we have a meet and greet. You get a rally bag with goodies in it. We show you a movie at a local small independent movie theater. Then we feed you breakfast Saturday morning. We go on a big group ride. Lately, Piata, which is a restaurant in town, has been a big sponsor, and they give us lunch as well then. And then the big party Saturday night, usually at a bar, where we raffle off a bunch of prizes, including typically a vintage Vespa. And all that money goes to charity every year. If you can get up and roll out of bed Sunday morning, we do brunch somewhere, but that's informal and that's on your own, sort of. So it's a great event. We usually get between 100 and 200 people in for it. Super fun. Usually kind of like band camp themed. But yeah.
We don't mention that rally because it's hidden. We don't talk about that.
Oh, Oh,
You mentioned it, but like, for the future, it's the unnamed rally, the one you don't speak
okay.
about.
Fine. Beep that out. Leave that out. Edit that out.
But yes,
uh,
I've been to oh god, I just made it worse. To Bandcamp, to Scooter Q,
yeah,
3 years in a row now.
Well, okay, I want to clarify
Yeah.
something.
yes.
We don't talk about Bandcamp not because it's not good, because it is good.
Right. We don't
And you
want
can only enjoy it when you're there by yourself.
right.
So just want to clarify this. Not
Right.
because we don't like it, it's because it's so good.
So good. I gotcha. Yeah. Right there with you. My bad.
The first Scooter Q that I gone to is just when we it's just after we moved in here. And I remember Matt Schmidt picked me up, and we rolled up straight to. Did we? Yeah, we rolled up straight to Columbus. We rolled through Dayton to pick up Misty, and then we rode all the way to Columbus, and we missed breakfast and everything because it was a vintage scooter ride.
Oh, right.
And Matt's his throttle kept popping out of the hook in the carburetor, like you got that little hook in there,
right.
and it kept popping out at 55, 60, because that's all we did. We took 22, and it was all straight and boring and lame, but it kept popping out. So that was the first year, and the second year we spent the night, and this year we didn't spend the night, and that was a little sad because I wish we would have spent the night. It was so exhausting the last 2 hours to drive home.
Oh yeah. You should definitely come for the whole weekend.
Yep, we know a backyard where we can camp in, so we're gonna do that.
Yeah. Oh, there's
that was so fun.
So many cutters who will put you guys up. Not a worry.
But what I want to talk about is what it means to ride at a rally, right? Because I think it's a lot of fun, especially city rallies. There's a difference between being at a camping rally and being at a city rally.
Yep.
Where in a city rally, you get to explore something new. And Karen and I have made it a point that every city we go to, we try to find, what do we find? Ramen. So it's got to be a ramen restaurant somewhere. And
right.
Columbus has a great ramen restaurant. When we rode up all the way to buy oil, too. When we rode up all the way to buy oil, we went to a ramen restaurant. And we did the same thing in Richmond. And I think that's a cool thing about a city rally. You get to explore it by yourself, too. You don't always have to stick to the group ride, right? But if you go out of your way and you just go find something. This year, we went to a vintage gaming store. Because our friend Matt, he collects old video games. So he likes to go around and just find old stores, not old stores, but stores with old video games, and see if there's something that's not in his collection. So that's always, as long as you have a destination to go to, you just explore it, be it ramen or be it vintage gaming stores.
Right.
But do you have something like that when you get to a new city for a rally that you say, I want to explore it by myself?
Yeah, for me, so I'm an anthropologist at heart, so I'm like, I need to go where the locals go. I need the dive bar. I need so yeah, so I'm always asking where, where's the neighborhood bar? Where's the neighborhood restaurant? Where's the best pizza in town? I mean, you always got to find the best pizza, right?
Yes.
There's that one really good one in Columbus. The year before we went to, and they have this like really big backyard. I mean, they like make everything there. They have the oven and they make all the toppings there. It's so good.
There's quite a few. There's some really good. Columbus has a really good food scene. So
yeah, I know. But
it was next to the final event. The final event was at this bar, and next to it was this pizza place.
The year before we went to like a rooftop bar, like the bar that has and then next to it,
pizza.
What's the name?
Gourmet.
Gourmet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really good. They're really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I just like going
Lee
some.
is very strict about his
Oh yeah,
pizza.
oh yeah.
Well, I mean, rightly
Just
so.
like me about my ramen
we
and
we
tea.
rode to this ramen place in downtown Cincinnati, and they were all excited about seeing people show up with scooters. Of course, we parked on the
Yeah.
sidewalk, even though all our bikes are 200s. But Cincinnati police don't know.
Whatever. Nobody knows.
But yeah, like ramen has always been a destination to go to, and I
Hmm.
really enjoyed that about Columbus, and I think we're gonna find something every year that we go up to. But the
Yeah.
coffee place has to be on Saturday after the group ride, after the place we ride to. There always has to be
Yeah.
coffee before the party because it's so exhausting. The entire day is so exhausting.
It's. I know. You either got to push through and drink all the way through, or you just got to stop for
Yeah.
coffee. Either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
I think we need to find a place. We found that place in Richmond, but we need to find a place in Columbus that has like a good couch. That maybe we can take
Oh,
that.
So there
yeah.
was this brewery in Richmond. They had, what's it, 350 Pilsners on tap. They called it
Oh yeah,
Richmond,
so
like
good.
I think River Water or whatever. It was really good beer. It was a small beer. It was a 12-ounce pour, but it was delicious. And we rolled up there. We had the beer, and they had this huge couch. And we were
Oh,
camping in someone's front yard. We could use the facilities, but it was out of the city, so you didn't always go back. So we needed a
Right.
good break and a rest. So we go to this brewery and we drink one or two beers. The bikes are all parked outside, and all of us three at once take an hour and a half nap inside the brewery on the couch in the window. This was in the window.
it
That's
was not
beautiful.
And then we
planned.
talked to the Seven Hills Scooter Gang guys. Is it Scooter Gang? Seven Hills Scooter Club. And
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
were like, "Oh, this is this really upscale brewery where where like business people go to." So we go back the day after, do the same thing. I like scooter trash on the couch with our jeans vests and everything, and then we wake up, and it's like it was legit. It was a business party in in the back of the brewery.
I love it. Love it.
You know those like team event or something because they have like video games and stuff there. We just like camp out at the couch.
That's
Charge the
awesome.
phone, everything.
But we consume a decent amount of
Yeah.
pilsner there.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a light beer. It was hot there. It was hot.
Mm.
So yeah, and their bathroom is pretty good.
That should be a Google review.
It's important.
It's important. It is. Yes.
All right. After discussing what it means to ride in to discover a city on your own, I want to ride in a group. I want to talk about riding in a group next. But first, I think
Sure.
we can take a 5 minute break so everyone can water up and chill for a second. Let's all take 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll start again.
Okay.
All right. Yep.
Great.
See you in a bit.
Camera works.
It's mirrored. No.
No,
Oh no, never mind.
it's not. I'm just old and I can't see
There we
things.
go.
Don't say
So I want
that.
to give you a little.
You look like you're at 20s.
Oh.
So I want to give a
aw.
shout out to Scooter Mikado for hooking us up with this cool T-shirt. I like it.
Hell yeah.
Do you know it says use 2% lube, whatever that means. All right, I guess we're back.
Whatever.
We're back. We're recording again.
We're back.
So we talked about what it means to go to a city rally and how you can make it fun. I think I really like the idea of exploring a city by yourself. If you are in an rural rally, I think it's a little bit more. What's the word? Not threatening, but it's a little scarier to find your own way because you can get lost, right? And if you
Yeah. Nerve wracking.
when we were in Richmond, we were riding back from a ride that was literally 55 miles out of Richmond. So it was an hour straight. I'm saying 55 because that's the average
It was
speed that we did.
beautiful. view
Yeah.
though.
And on the way back,
It was along the water. Yeah.
yeah, on the way back, we just discovered our own, but always in the back of your head, it's like, what if I break down? You know, because we were in a group. We didn't know many people actually. The only one we knew was Mark, who was riding at that point. So we wouldn't have gotten a trailer there quickly. So when
Yeah,
you're in the city, I think everything's a bit more accessible.
that's for sure. I have this philosophy that there's like I really don't mind getting lost because it's just an adventure, you
Mhm.
know, and you break down, you maybe meet some interesting people, you know what I mean? So, like to me, that's never a concern because you're never really lost in
Nowadays,
this day
no,
and
you're not. Yeah,
age, right? Or, you know, at least in this country, you're just never really lost. So, but I hear you. Like if you've got you know you're out of cell service, you break down. What are you gonna do? I get
imagine
it.
the rally
Yeah,
that we don't talk about. You get lost there on a little ride around. There's nothing.
yeah. That's my dream come true. I but but like I really one of my favorite things about the rally that we don't talk about is that there's no cell
Yes.
service, so I cannot be responsible for anything.
Yeah. Kara
Any
tells the boss, she's like, I'm not available for 4 days. Don't talk to me.
yeah.
Even though we're not going this
Don't
year,
even
Carrot,
try to call.
just tell him you're not
Yeah.
available. Let him get used to it.
Yes, just do it. Just tell them.
I
So,
changed team, so it's a new boss now this time.
well, you need to prep him for the future.
Yeah. Well, the next thing I want to talk about is like the other aspect of a rally is always the group ride, and
Uh-huh.
that was something interesting that Carrot and I discovered both because I've never really done group rides. I grew up as a motorcycle kid in a motorcycle family, and we always rode 3-4 people max. Right? There was never any big
Mm-hmm.
rides. I remember the reason was my parents explained it to me once. They were in a pretty heavy accident where a couple of people got really badly injured in a group ride
Mhm.
with motorcycles. So
Yeah.
and ever since I tried to stay away from it. And I remember I was 18. I just hit 18. I was still riding my 50. And we were in a group ride with the 50s. That was like one time, and a friend got hurt. So we've always and all of this was unregulated, right? There were no rules. There was no ride in a staggered way. It was just people being idiots. It was kids being idiots because that's the 50s scene.
Right.
And so we came over. Carrot, do you remember we had the Kawasaki? It was not really a scooter ride, but we rode that little Miami River ride. That was the first time we rode in a
Oh,
group. And it was interesting because there's
wait, was that the one go over the river to Rabbit Hash and all that?
no, it was before that. It was where the one lady crashed in the corner that I was really excited about.
Oh, go to a
The castle in
castle.
Loveland, yeah.
I was very disappointed with the castle, but anyway, it was a really fun
Really?
ride.
Were you? I didn't get that at
Um,
all.
it was a little bit different from the castle that I would imagine, imagine,
There's a
but
difference
it
between a
was a
castle
good, it
built,
was a
yeah.
good
There's a
ride.
difference in a castle
It was a
built
good
in
ride.
1989 and a castle built in, 1389.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
To
yeah.
America.
So we went on this ride, and there was like they explained all these. They were really good at outlining the rules, right? You ride in a staggered formation. When you do certain arm movements, that's where you go. And it was nice. It was interesting, and you go to an intersection, and someone's blocking the other cars, and you just go, so you don't stop at a stop sign, just to keep the group together. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and the rides we did afterwards were also a lot of fun because it gives you that group mentality that you can stay together. But I think we straight up understood that there are certain rules that you need to follow, otherwise you just make it complicated for everyone else. And to my understanding, Caitlin, you help keeping a group in check every year at Scooter Q.
Yeah. So one thing we do not do is block traffic, just because I don't know where this came from. I can't remember the origin of it. We call it bunny hopping, but I think blocking traffic can get dangerous. So for us, in addition to the stagger, all the hand signals, the standard stuff, um, we mark corners. So we tell the group, you go straight until you see somebody who tells you differently, and then you turn. And so you might like sometimes. So the group oftentimes gets separated because we're in a city. We got to get out of the city. Lots of traffic lights. But we usually have around 100 people on the ride, so it's a big ride. 60 to 100, I guess, depends on the year. And so you go straight until you see somebody who's telling you to turn, and then you do that. And so sometimes that you can just be on your own. Like I've been like when I wasn't doing corners on my own, and then you go, and we all eventually catch up to each other. And then the corner markers are responsible for getting ahead and marking the next corner. And we found that's to be the safest way, unless the corner marker people get you lost, and that happens occasionally, but not very often. But I think the other thing that the philosophy we tell people is to ride your own ride. So, if you're not feeling comfortable or whatever, as long as you're not impeding other riders, just stay in your lane, stay in what you're doing. Don't go crazy. Don't get in other people's way. Respect the corner markers who are going to pass you. Yeah, so it can be a little nerve-wracking riding in a big group ride. I totally get that, but it's also super fun. Like for me, I love just seeing a whole line of scooters up ahead and watching all of them take curves and hills and all of that. It brings me like sheer joy to be able to watch that kind of stuff. It's not for everybody. Some people just absolutely hate the group rides, but I think they're super fun.
I like to be in the front, like towards the front.
Yeah.
Like this year, that's what I wanted to come back to. This year we got stuck in the very back of the ride because Karen stalled uphill. I don't even think you noticed. I remember.
Oh, I remember,
you remember that?
Okay.
No, Karen,
yep.
Wait, which carrot?
The other one.
No, it's fine.
The other one.
The other carrot.
Karen stalled uphill, and
the evil carrot.
It was my fault. She was just riding for the first time this new engine that I built, and it had a super long transmission. It was like, do not shift upwards comfortably on an uphill, because that was the steepest hill we took that day. And she shifted up too far, and this is like the second longest transmission that you can buy for a Vespa in it. And she shifts and it stalls. And then I panic and she panics because you have to put it on the stupid main stand, because I haven't bothered about fixing that stupid main stand in order to kick it. So we had to move over. I remember that. That was a fun experience. But what do you think?
But again, also ride your own ride. That goes back to that, because we also have a support truck. So there's always one person who's the absolute last person, and you never get behind that last person. And nobody's going to stop for you. We have like support trucks. So if you break down, don't stop and try and help, or don't do anything. Don't whatever. We've got support trucks coming. So
the good thing was that we have fast scooters, so we had no problem catching up. That was a lot of fun because it was open road and we would
That's
just go.
why we mentioned this.
Yeah.
That was the point of this conversation.
That was.
So speaking of like the group rides, there was a lot of group rides in Amerivespas, and I think that's also why it was a fun rally to go to. Like you get to know like different people because every ride has different people. There's so many people go to Amerivespa, so we went on this historical ride. So you go to like historical site in Richmond, um, and somehow we were like maybe we're in downtown Richmond, and somehow we're at this heavy traffic intersection. Like I'm talking about like we're going up, and then there's another lane that comes from like an exit from highway
Ooh.
and like merging together, and we're like the whole group trying to turn right, and then the fur like the lane in between the turn and us is the lane that merge like come from the exit of the highway, so it was super complicated. And I was riding the Stella. I
Mhm.
mean, like, am I confident riding that Stella? Yes, I am. But when situation like that, it's a uphill and so many people trying to like cross another lane and all that stuff is happening, like I can get panicked too. And then
Yeah.
to make it worse, that I was right behind the lead, and then the lead just said, "You're gonna be the turn pointer." So he just made me stop on the hill, say, "You're gonna wait
Oh no!
people to point them to turn right." I'm so sure. I guess I'm gonna be that person.
Again, ride your own ride. Yeah, you don't want to do that? Say hell no. Going that way. I think I saw a bar over there.
Guess what I learned? I always keep distance from him, so I
Yeah,
don't have to be the next person behind him to be, waiting at the turn
right.
to mark the turn. So,
Yeah.
but that was an
I love that
interesting
ride
ride.
because there's so many red lights, and every time we were the front, I called people out to
Yeah.
drag race off of a red light.
Of
Because
course
we were the
did.
only vintage. I think we were the only vintage scooters in that it was a modern ride.
Oh,
Oh
It was
yeah?
a modern ride.
Nice.
Matt was with his 2-port Bajaj, and he was just like 55 is like the top speed of that bike, and the average speed of the
Yeah.
ride was 55. So he was constantly high RPM, fourth gear, during the entire ride. And that bike survived. That thing was a champ.
Yeah. I love doing that like drag race when I'm at a light on my Vespa
Yeah.
250 with like Harley riders because I blow them out of the water and then they
Oh,
catch up to me at the next light and they're like, "What are you riding?" And I'm like, "It's a scooter."
not a
It's not a
Harley.
Harley.
Oh yeah, speaking of Harley, shall we mention the time Carrot trying to tailgating a Harley
Yeah.
Davidson?
Can I tell it from my perspective because I was the slower person? This actually involves you, Caitlin, too, because we were coming up to buy oil. If
Oh
you
yeah.
remember, we rode all the way up to buy a bottle of oil from Cap City,
I know that was amazing. Thank you.
and
And ramen.
ramen. It was mostly about the ramen, though.
It was two
It was
ramen
two ramen
shops.
shops. No, not that day.
I
That was a
mean,
different day. Was it?
Huh?
I don't remember.
Really? Oh, I thought it was the same
I
day.
remember my butt
I
hurt
mean,
on
it
the way
was an
home.
eventful day.
We were riding.
I mean, buying
Yeah.
oil is important too.
We are riding, and this what was it? Is it 42 or 22 in this Washington corner? Washington's
Yeah, Washington something.
Washington
Washington
Courthouse.
Courthouse. Now remember, that's when we
Yeah.
Mm.
merged like the main state road that led up to Columbus, but we didn't go downtown Columbus first. We rode up to what's the town called? Lendon? Not London.
Yeah, London.
Is it London? Karen, where does Grandma live?
Doesn't matter.
Oh yeah,
Some
like
town.
close to the west of Columbus. So
Yeah.
we did the main road for a long time, and it was very full throttle the whole time, right? And Carrot's bike was way too quick, and I was riding my almost stock 200. So she was just half throttle while I was pinning it all the way. And then there was this Harley guy who rode past us. He got upset because we were going 55 apparently on a 55. So he gave me the finger, and I waved Carrot, go get him, go get him, go get him. So I hear her shift back and like just pass me and fly after him. And I don't like, she was way quicker than me, and she like keeps up with him, and all of a sudden her rear wheel locks up out of nowhere. Boom. I see smoke. I knew that they was coming. I trained her to pull the clutch. So she pulls the clutch, we pull over, it kicks over again, it's all fine.
Oh.
We let it cool off a little. We take it was a Polini. Polinis like to seize. And we we do the rest of the day. We come all the way back from Columbus, to Cincinnati, no problems, except it got dark and cold really quick.
Yeah.
We get home. After that, we rode Scooter Q. We camped out in the Cutter's backyard. We did all of Scooter Q, and it kept dripping oil on Carrot's rim. And I was like, oh, what's going on? Maybe the seal is bad. Turns out her crankcase was broken.
Oh, wow.
I rip it too hard.
Well, yeah, because you're hardcore.
Her crankcase broke. And I mean,
wow.
Now it's fixed, but that was something. I'm sure you broke your crankcase the moment you like seized behind the Harley guy.
Yeah. Damn Harley guys.
Well, for the record, I did not see the Harley guy show the finger, but
no, he was he was not nice.
When my husband tells me to follow someone, I go follow someone.
I mean, right?
I'm not instigating drama because my parents are Harley riders, so just that particular person was not a nice person. I made them.
Right. It has nothing to do with Harley.
I made them ride Vespas for the first time this summer when they came over. I had Mark lend him his GT200. Yeah, my parents. They rode Harleys, rode Vespas for the first time.
Nice.
It was still automatic, although he rode Carrot Stella, and he was afraid of
it.
As he should be.
I liked it.
Yeah. No, it was fun riding with them. Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, we'll get them back here for Vespas. I was talking to Tony in the last podcast. If you haven't listened to that one,
Tony
Caitlin,
from South
you gotta
Africa.
listen to it. It's from the perspective from someone from South Africa who's into scooters. And I asked him, "What do you want to do when you would come over to the U.S.? What would you want to do as a scooterist?" And he's like, I don't care what I ride. I want to ride from East Coast to West Coast. Because he basically got into scooters as a camping vehicle, so he would go out vanning, and they needed another vehicle to get beer and get food and that kind of stuff. So that's how he and his dad got into scooters.
Cool.
And so I
that shows how practical Vespas
Yeah. So I threw him this bone and be like, what if we do cross country on a Spade?
I'm with you.
Do you think that would be possible? Do you think the Spade has enough capacity, like not gas capacity, but loading capacity to do a camping trip?
Yes.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
100%. Yeah. Not a problem. I mean, I rode across 2 states on a Honda Metropolitan, so the Spade can do it for sure. Yeah. I mean, it can carry gear. I mean, that would be so fun.
So if you were...
But maybe we don't know and we should just try it.
Yes.
So who's driving?
Can you share my contacts with the Kymco representative? I mean, I already gave him a business card, but just remind him. Thank you.
Absolutely.
We'll make it a show. But So this question came up and I liked it. Is like, what would you do if you could do what you like in a different part of the world, right? And you were talking about going to Egypt to do the scooter thing in Egypt. That
Yeah.
scooter thing in Egypt. Aside from Egypt, like, what would you like to do on a scooter in the world?
So my dream is to do the Pan American Highway from Alaska to South America. That's
Whoa.
yeah, that's my dream.
On what bike?
Uh, oh, well, I mean, I guess I always imagined doing it on my Stella, but
The vintage one? No, with like the shifty?
yeah, um, but so I don't know.
Like, why would you want to do that on the
I don't
style?
know,
Like,
just because it's my girl, it's my bike.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I
and-
would want to do like such a like historical moment of my life, right? That would be a big event on my life if I do something like cross the whole continent or something. Like, I would like to do
sorry.
um I would like to
Not
do
the
it
bike.
on my orange Stella just because, it is still and always gonna be my favorite
Yeah.
bike, So
I guess, so that being said, like, I love the smoothness of my automatics. I love not the hand weariness and not the vibrations.
oh
But on the
yeah.
other hand, like, you can rebuild a Stella on the side of a road if you have the stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
We would
I don't know.
we were talking to this lady at Amerivespa on the first night this year, and she did the cannonball, right, all the way from LA.
Yeah.
And she went to LA, picked up at 300, rode it all the way, to Richmond. And I asked her, so what did go wrong? And she's like, oh, I fell over in gravel. That's like the only thing that went wrong. And I mean, I get it. You get a smooth transcontinental ride, right? I mean, but there is something boring about reliability.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean,
Well, okay, let me say, like, I like uncertainties that makes the trip memorable, but I also like the backup plan to be reliable.
Yeah, I agree.
Does that make sense? Like, I'm okay with like my current plan fall apart, but I gotta have a reliable backup plan. Meaning, you gotta be there, Lee, when my bike like fall apart. You gotta fix that right now.
Right.
Not right now, but like, you know what I mean. Like, you have to be there with me. Otherwise, I don't feel that's the same thing. Like, when I have to ride to work by myself, like, you're not next to me. I just don't feel safe. Like, my bike doesn't feel safe.
Yeah, I don't worry too much about that. I don't know. I have this like weird sort of everything will work out kind of thing. Like, I'll just go over here and eat some ceviche and drink some beers and hopefully figure it out. Maybe I'll find a local guy who knows how to wrench on lawnmowers. I don't know.
It'll be fine. No, when we talk to
They're just joke.
Everything works out. So I don't know. I don't quite have those concerns.
I'm sure the
But
Stella
I also
will make a Pan American trip for sure.
Yeah, I mean, my Stella, my God, that girl, she starts. I can let her sit. I have neglected her so much. I mean, owning the scooter shop, well, owning a small business, period. You work all the time and you neglect all of your own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she just runs and runs and runs. Yeah.
Oh, did I not share my screen? Is my screen shared, by the way? Sorry to interrupt. You can see me.
It is.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked to Marcos, right? You remember Marcus when he did the Trans-American trip and he came to
Yeah.
Scooter We
Uh-huh.
hosted him last year for a night while he was on his way down through Cincinnati. There's my microphone. Wow, what
I'm not
Yes.
just happened?
So we host him.
Uh-huh.
He came through, like, I think he met up with Mark, and then they went through maybe Oxford, that area, and then came to our house, and he stayed for the night, and we had a little talk, and we filmed, and I think it was posted on the YouTube channel. But like, I think Lee asked him about, like, oh, like, how often you have to fix your bike, and he's like, small fix like every other days, and big fix that, like, it's quite often
Mm-hmm.
when you ride a shifty
But it was
vintage,
nothing major.
right? Is
It
that
was nothing major. It was the
right?
Stella was so good. The only thing he had, I think he soft seized when he came down the Rocky Mountains. Because that's just the thing when you come down and you lean off because he rejetted and that kind of stuff. But it held through all the way to Virginia Beach, so
Yeah.
it did its thing. I'm hoping Marcus can tell us that story again next week. He's currently on a trip to pick up his bikes that he spread out through Europe. So he got his van and he's trying to pick that kind of stuff up right now. But yeah, he said he loved the Stella, and I think if I do a vintage trip, it would be on a Stella engine. As much as I love the Tune 200s and stuff, you don't want to ride a $3,000 engine across the country and just do it an unnecessary beating. That like, I want to ride fast off of a red light. I don't want to ride fast 6,000 miles across a continent.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe my SS can do it. Karen, that's what we should put into the large frame section of the core set.
The SS.
Yes. No?
We can talk about that later.
All right.
What were we talking about?
Like
Cross
your dream
country.
Cross country. Yeah, what would you
Oh,
want to do?
yeah.
So you
My dream trip.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I never thought about, like, riding a bike, motorcycle, or even a bike, across a whole continent or something. It just, I felt like, cause, but I think my idea towards, like, cross continent, cross country changed when we watched the documentary of Long Way Round and Long Way Down. Yeah, I love those two documentaries. Like, I think, like, my opinion towards, like, first I was like, why would people do that? It's not like you enjoy every single moment of it. Like, to me, at that moment, like, at that time, back then, was like, it looks like they were suffering. Like, you have to sleep on the road, by the road. Like, you can't sleep in a nice hotel. Like, to me, it's like vacation is supposed to be enjoyable. But, like, I guess, like, from, like, now I think about it. Oh yeah, why wouldn't you do it? It's such a memorable things, and you make the journey yourself.
Right.
It's your own memory. No one else can take it.
Yeah. And as an anthropologist, like, all the people you meet, all the cool, like,
and that's something you can't plan either. It's all random. Being a data scientist, I love the randomness. Like, I mean, I don't, because they're the noise in my model. But anyway, like, the randomness is the part that makes it interesting. Like, that is a story you're always gonna be able to tell, because no one else is gonna have the same story.
Right.
Yeah. And speak of, like, my dream tour, I think it would definitely be with Lee.
Aww. Look how sweet you guys are.
Hopefully with our
On a
dogs.
scooter. Well, we gotta get them trained into a sidecar.
Or like a trailer in the back. And we gotta find a road that doesn't have gravels because it's I don't know. We will see. Maybe my mom can drive an RV behind us. She loves RV. Her dream is to own an RV.
I'm into it too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we can see that, comes together. And she loves the dogs. So
There you go.
I think we have, 50% of the plan down here. But
Jeez.
but I would love to be somewhere like a trip. I don't know like cross country or anything, but I would like to have a trip that's like have different it would definitely have to last more than 2 or 3 weeks, I think. And it will have to involve like camping on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
A bit scary, but involve of making your own fires and all that, and making your own food, and I think maybe the long way down that route is pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
what Caitlin's talking about. You're talking about the one that goes down Chile all
Yeah.
the way down to the.
From Alaska all the way down to, I think Tierra del Fuego.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't.
the one. Yeah.
I'm not
Would you?
Yeah.
Would you ride to Alaska and start there because you're kind of in the middle, right?
Yeah. I suppose, right? Because I don't want to leave
we
my.
we know a couple
Guy,
rode bicycles from Ohio
Oh, yeah. I've
to
heard of that.
Alaska twice
Whoa.
and was chased by a bear.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want that.
that's when you don't want to see.
But I mean,
Yeah. We can
that's
leave the
why
bears
you
at
ride a
this.
scooter.
Yeah.
I want to do Europe.
I don't know.
I know that's very stereotypical for a
No,
European.
that's what I was saying. I want from like Europe, and that's what the Ewan McGregor did, like from Europe, like London or some, like UK, and then all the way to like
All the way down.
Cape
Yeah.
Town. Yeah. That was the one.
I'm fine
Yeah.
if I
'Cause
only make it
I
down
want
to
to
Italy.
go to Africa. I
Yeah.
want to go to
No,
Africa.
really? Spain?
No,
David?
Italy.
Yeah.
I want to do Italy
Okay.
on a scooter. I know it's so silly. I've been to Italy a few times, but I've never ridden a vintage scooter anywhere else but the U.S. I want to
Yeah.
do it where it's like where it belongs, right?
Where it
Like
is.
where it comes from.
We were gonna rent scooters in Italy. Of course, we were brand new scooter riders, and we got to Italy. There was a taxi strike, and
Another reason to ride a scooter.
right, except for it's so obviously so deep in their culture. They're crazy. They're like these women in like suits that are like skirt suits. They're like kicking cars next to them, and they're like,
Oh.
maybe not this trip. Like,
I rode.
it was
I rolled into Rome to get to an airport. It was an airport outside of Rome. I've never been to Rome. I've never been down. I've never seen the Colosseum or anything. But I've been everywhere else in Italy, but Rome. But
yeah.
I remember I had to take the airport, and a friend was dropping me off. So we start getting like the circle highways. The what do you call them? Whatever goes around the city, right?
Oh, yeah.
The ring highway.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And there was all these people on what Yamaha T-Maxes is a big thing right now. The T-Max and the MP3. Well, now this was 2010. And, when you have 3 lanes, which is already a lot for a European highway, and then you have a safety lane on the left and on the right, in Rome, that means you have 5 lanes.
It's
Yeah.
same in China too.
And then I'm all about when I rode my motorcycle to work every day back home, and be it winter, be it not. I mean, it helped having ABS and so on. But riding that to work every day, you weave in and out of traffic. That's the point. You ride a motorcycle, you can get there faster. You don't have to stop, in heavy traffic. And then here, no one does that. And I learned that when you do that, you can get arrested for reckless driving.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I'm not doing that here.
We just don't have the culture here. I mean, it's growing, but yeah, we don't have that two-wheeled culture like Europe
I was
does.
pulled over once in my small town. So it was my town, my father's town, then my school town. It's like these three towns connected. Karen, you remember I showed you the old house where my dad lived. We spent the night there, and then further down. And I got pulled over from my dad's town to school town, somewhere in between.
And that's in Luxembourg.
Yeah, in Luxembourg, right. And the cop, everyone knows each other, pulled me over because apparently he knew the bike or he knew the license plate, I don't know. Told me that I weaved out of traffic too close to cars, which is like a BS. It's like your taillight's not working, and then he smashes the taillight. It's one of those accusations, right? So he gives me a ticket for riding like an idiot. And it turns out my dad got pulled over the day before, and he talked back to him.
Oh.
And we have almost the same names, he and I. So I think there was a little bit of, I don't know, sour feelings towards me. And yeah, I didn't survive that one.
Well, then the cop has to look up your license plate and
they
all
do
that
that.
stuff. Wow, that's like they have to do some
No,
homework.
and the best part is I told him I have a physics exam. I was going to school. I was 18, right? I had a physics test that day in the first 2 hours, and he held me for 25 minutes. I came in too late. I called the school while I was being pulled over just to tell, hey, I got pulled over. I can't make it.
Wow.
It was, and then the guy. Long story. He did not last long in the police department, but.
Wait, this wrong.
Yeah. Did you have any interesting experience on scooters with the law? You don't have to incriminate yourself, but just like, has there been like confusion or anything the likes?
Surprisingly, no. Like very. I have not. I mean, I don't know. I think it's so like not very much the culture here that police officers don't really know what to do about scooters. Like I don't even, like, and it's so different state to state, you know. So like, do you need a motorcycle license here? Yes. Do you need one there? No. Can you park on the sidewalk? Can you not? Like, I mean, I don't know. So I think it's just like, I just think it's like they're like, that thing can't go very fast. They're not going to, whatever.
We have other things to worry about.
Right.
I got pulled over at outside of our suburbs here for doing a wheelie, but I guess that was fine. That was fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a wheelie.
I mean,
it was like a beer can high. It wasn't. It was a Vespa wheelie, which is like this much that you can like lift up.
Yeah. Yeah. So we had a friend who did a wheelie down the sidewalk down the street in front of the shop, and a cop was like, stop. Right. But you're being kind of a jerk.
I get
but
where
other
he was
than that,
coming from. We learned from each other that day because he was like, your light is pretty yellow, because I spray painted my headlight yellow, right, to go with the European 70s look. And I know that it depends if that is legal or not. So I told him it's a European bike from the 70s. Oh, okay. Yeah. It doesn't matter that it was registered in the US before or not. It was fine.
You're fine. Everything's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
No, it's fine. I like the fact that most scooterists that I know are very responsible. Um, I
Hmm.
mean, we have fast bikes, but we are not irresponsible. I think Karen and I
Right.
ride very responsibly. We maybe once or twice go a little faster than we should, but never in terms of there's other people around, there's other cars or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and I think the law leaves you to be in that way, right? Like there are
Yeah.
bigger issues than a bunch of scooter people. There's so much space on American roads that when you have a scooter, you already get this buffer zone that you can't hurt anyone. People can hurt you, but there's this
Right.
huge buffer zone where you're safer than you are in other parts of the world where there's five people in your lane.
Right. Right. And I think, yeah. So I ride like nobody can see me,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and but also a lot of the stoplights can't register my bike. So I will also run red lights because I'm not going to sit there. Or, I mean, sometimes I'll get off and hit the like crosswalk button or whatever. But most of the times I'm like, you know what? It doesn't see me. It doesn't register my bike. So I'm just going to
yeah.
go, you know? Yeah.
We have this in groups, right? You
Yeah.
remember? And you wave at people.
Yeah, I was about to talk
You
about
move
it.
forward and you wave at the car. Come on, just get on it.
Yeah.
And then
Get
there's
up.
like a grandma
Get
in
on
it,
it.
and she thinks you're about to rob her or something. I don't know.
Right. Just
Okay.
get
I
close.
mean, we wearing helmet. It was in the dark alley. That didn't help
And
the
you wear jeans vest with a
situation.
couple of patches. You're like the rockers, you know.
Right. Yeah. You're so hardcore. You're like gangster all the way.
And then, like, I think at one time Lee like parked the car, the
Oh yeah, yeah.
bike, and then walked to the. I'm like, why would you do that? What if that person have a gun or like think you're gonna?
Well, I mean, yeah.
You never know. I
You never
like it.
know.
Let's
Yeah,
quickly.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about this. What because we talked about group rides. What I enjoy most about group rides, I want to say, is reactions of people on the side.
Yes.
You know, you're like
Yes.
you ride through any neighborhood, and there's always everyone just like either give you the thumbs up. There's some cars honking. We were in Richmond, and we ran into this group of Harley. I mean, modified Harley. They were riding baggers with the huge front wheel, and they were coming across the other way, and they saw us like a group
Uh-huh.
of three, and they like honked and waved, and it was I love the reactions you get when you're on a scooter.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like every time you pass somebody, they just can't help but to smile. You know what I mean? Yeah. If not wave and honk and frankly, like I think a lot of motorcyclists also, find scooters fun and like I'm not sure equal, but I certainly get the two hand wave or the two finger wave from
Yeah,
them a lot. It depends on the crotch rockets, not so much, but others are just like, hey, you're on two wheels. That's all that matters, right?
I tried to
yeah.
drag race a guy on a stretched out GSXR.
Yeah.
It was
How was
nice. It was
that?
all chromed out, and I go next to him and I look at him and I like, it was with my build 200, so it sounded mean. And he just smiled. He turned right. I don't think he like wanted to get into the race or whatever, but he smiled and
Yeah.
waved back. So you just gotta
Yeah.
challenge them. Doesn't matter what you write.
I like when I'm at the red lights and then you stop next and the car next to you has a little kid sit in the
Yeah.
back and they just like, oh, what is
Yes.
this?
Oh
Look
yeah.
at that. And all
That's
and they
great.
just like wave at you like the brave kids and you wave back. They got so excited. I think like, oh, I just made the kids' day, but the kids definitely made my
Yeah.
day.
Right.
Or
Right.
the kids,
Yeah.
they don't want to wave, and you wave at them, and they're like awkwardly wave back.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, scooters are fun.
Most definitely.
Well, I think we have been talking for an hour and a half almost.
Oh my gosh.
And I think Carrot's been through a
Yeah,
bottle of
my
wine.
one bottle
Is
is
it
empty.
empty?
Oh.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm glad you have tomorrow off.
No, there's still some
Okay.
here.
Well, thank you for coming on the show, Caitlin. Do you want to plug something at this point?
Sure. Come buy scooters because I have so much stock in stock, and all the last year's stock is marked down, and I need room on my floor for new stock.
What do you have on there right now?
But
What do you have on the floor right now?
oh, I've got Genuine Buddies, I've got Kymco, I've got 4 spades in right now.
What color?
I have white, blue, silver, and
Brown.
black.
Silver?
So the white, yeah. So the
I
white.
did not know they have silver.
Well, it's new this year. So those are the only silver and matte black are the only colors available this year. The white and the blue are no longer. I've got.
Wait, why is no longer available?
What? No. Yeah.
Limited
I
edition.
have limited edition.
Special. Keep it forever. It will make you $1 million someday, or maybe not. Whatever. I've got a couple of Sim Wolf 300 motorcycles. I've got the Genuine 400 motorcycle.
Ooh.
I've got the Like 150s. Chris is working. Can you hear it?
That was a 2-stroke, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's got a rally back there. He's rebuilding. I got a bunch of Like 150s. A couple of them have the Bluetooth.
The board computer. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. You can have Navigator. It tells you when you get text messages. It doesn't let you text message, but it tells you when some come in, so you can pull over.
Why would it let you text?
Because you don't want to text and ride, right? No, enjoy your ride. Anyway, yeah, we got a lot of great things coming up. Scooter Q is going to be great this year.
Around September?
September. We don't have the dates yet. We haven't really started planning. But yeah, it's going to be a fun year. Thank you. That's our website. I have not updated our hours. We're back to regular hours.
Hold on, I had
so.
it. No, let me not show my.
What was that?
I was prepared. Then I
I saw
something
me.
else. Hold on, capital.
Anyway, we have a great community here, and it's fun. It's cool. Come hang out, have some coffee, sit on some scooters or motorcycles. Pet
Yeah,
talk.
the Cutters are the fun people. Like, they can go wild, but they're
Yeah,
also very nice.
it's true.
There we go.
Yeah. We got a shop cat. Oh, there's
It's a new
me.
time.
Super happy about our trap. Yeah, we have a shop cat that wants to be pet all the time, so come visit her if you don't want to visit us. It's all
Or
good.
ride 270 miles to get a bottle of oil.
Do it because it's
It's
worth
worth
it. We are awesome, and so are you. I always have chocolate here and probably a beer in the fridge. Come get it.
Cool. Well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Right. Everyone, bye.
Bye.
Bye.